Hi, welcome into Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. What's going on, everybody? We are coming to you live from Nashville this week. I mean, it's been a crazy, crazy season. Lots of travel. Now my son's got some hockey tournaments, and so here we are in Nashville today, just hanging out. We're not doing this from Honky Tonk Road, though, although we should. I should be Music City Row, Honky Tonk Row. We should be doing some country music over what we're doing here in Nashville, but I've been spending all my time at an ice rink. Great show planned for you. Jamal Mayers will join us as always. Great stuff from Jammer. We get into some of the league issues, talk about some of the league awards, and obviously preview some of the playoffs. Next week, we'll dive deep into the playoffs. We'll do that on the Camistrick podcast as well. Sort of focus a little bit on the interview on the Blues today as well. Oscar Sundquist is going to join us. Love Sonny, man. He's been with the Blues for 8 years, Stanley Cup champion. We'll just shoot the shit with him and just kind of have a fun conversation with Sonny. And then we'll be good to go. First Community brings us Hockey Sense each and every week, live from the Half Coast Studios. You know by now, First Community already has over 40 locations in Missouri and Illinois, over 40, including branches all over South County. But they've got some great news. The Tesson Ferry branch is moving. It's open just across Tesson Ferry Road. It's right next to the YMCA. If you know where that is, you can't miss it. Completely remodeled. It's a full-service branch. So they've got everything. Drive-through service, 24-hour ATM. Complete list of branches are available and their hours at firstcommunity.com. So check that out. And stop by the grand opening coming up on May 2nd at the new location on Tesson Ferry Road. Grand opening, May 2nd. If you live or you work in South County, First Community has got you covered, as they always do. All right, Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop. Download the app today. Find out why Dirt Cheap has the best selection of party goods, too. Beer, wine, and booze. Yeah, we know they have all that. Nobody can compete with the beer, wine, and booze they have over at Dirt Cheap. They've got the walk-in beer cooler. They've got cigars. But they also have the paper goods. If you got a party, graduation parties, anything else you have going on right now, stop on by a Dirt Cheap location and download their app. If you use the promo code Blues Hockey, and it should say it on there, you get your delivery for free as long as you live within 10 miles of any of their locations. And they've got so many locations, chances are you do live within that 10-mile radius. Dirt Cheap Fun Fun, your one-stop party shop, baby. Blue Note Roofing. Did you hear those tornado sirens the other day? That was crazy. Did you get any wind damage, hail damage, weather damage? Call David Novak. He will take care of you. He's standing by waiting for your phone call. 314-920-5713. Call David Novak today. Let him take great care of you. 314-920-5713 for Blue Note Roofing. And, gutters, soffit, fascia, siding, you know the drill. They can do all of that, but they work with all the big major insurance companies too. But this weather, man, whereas it's just the beginning. You know, we're in weather season here in St. Louis as you enter the spring. It's always crazy, always unpredictable. I didn't even know we were getting tornadoes that night. It was right by my house, man. I mean, the sirens are going off. It was crazy. So call David Novak today, 314-920-5713. 314-920-5713. David Novak, Blue Note Roofing, baby. Lordo's Diamonds. Get that special someone, something special in your life. They've been around for 70 years. Mike and Jimmy Lordo, man. Everyone knows about Lordo's Diamonds. The best jewelry business going in the country. Nobody does it like Mike and Jimmy Lordo. Best selection of engagement rings and whatever else you're looking for. Stop on into Lordo's Diamonds today, right there in the heart of Ladue, right next to Truffles in Ladue. 314-432-8008 in the heart of Ladue. Lordo's Diamonds, baby. And you know we love it. Easy Tiger Cannabis, EasyTigerAZ.com. Check it out. Get some of that apparel, too. It's not gimmicky like some of this other cannabis apparel that you see. But if you're dealing with pain, you have sleep issues, muscle issues, anxiety issues, any medical issue, talk to an expert with Easy Tiger Cannabis, EasyTigerAZ.com. That's the website. Located in Arizona, but soon to be nationwide. And they deliver to you as well. So check out their website. Get something to make you feel better. Find out what you need and what's best suited for you. Talk to one of the experts. EasyTigerAZ.com. Easy Tiger, baby. Easy Tiger Cannabis, proud sponsor of what we do here on Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. All right, the Blues win last night. They won all these games down the stretch. I know people are upset because they kept winning. And so now we got the playoffs. The Blues are going to have their locker clean-out day tomorrow. Exit interviews. Doug Armstrong's going to talk. We'll see if Alexander Steen talks and what he has to say coming up on Saturday. Players are going to speak. Jim Montgomery is going to speak. That's always a critical day, a very interesting day, I think, for Blues fans and certainly the media and the organization. We'll get Tom Stillman in here very soon. We'll talk with Jim Montgomery. And continue to obviously break down this team. It's going to be an incredible offseason. And yeah, because they've got 3 first-round picks and all these draft picks that they have in their back pocket, but also some, significant decisions to be made. What do they do with certain players? Jordan Kyrou comes to mind. He's one of them for sure. Do you keep him? Do you move him? What are you doing with Kyrou? He's got 18 goals this season. That's what he finishes with. Fewer than 50 points. He's been a 70-point-plus player for several years in a row now. He's been a 30-plus goal scorer for 3 consecutive seasons, and this year it just didn't work for Jordan Kyrou. Offensively, he dealt with an injury. There's been some other things that he's been dealing with. Don't want to make any excuses for why he wasn't scoring goals, but maybe some of that will come out. We may get him on the Canister podcast too. Sit down with Jordan Kyrou long-term. Get his take of what's going on. That was a tough year, man, for him. And a tough year for a lot of people with the Blues. I know some people don't want to hear it because the Blues got hot down the stretch, man. Listen, I don't love that either. But it does show you what they're capable of being. I mean, this team underachieved so badly in the first half of the year that I don't look at the second half or the post-Olympic record as a complete fluke. I mean, when you have goaltending and you have a top line that truly can compete against pretty much anybody, and that established a level of chemistry that you saw from Holloway and Thomas. Those two specifically with Jimmy Snuggerud, who finishes the year with 51 points and 21 goals. That's an incredible rookie season for Snuggerud to get over 50 points, man. So we'll see what happens with him moving forward. I do think that you'll see some of these guys play in the World Championships. You've got some Swedes, obviously. There's always a chance. We'll see how far and how long the American League team in Springfield can play. Theo Lindstein down there now playing in the playoffs. Congrats to the Thunderbirds and Steve Ott and everybody down there. Otto Stember's down there playing some games. I don't know if you'll see Berggren play in the World Championships. You're not going to see Oscar Sundqvist play in the World Championships. Maybe you see Dalibor Dvorsky play in the World Championships. I do think from a Canadian perspective, I think it's in the best interest of a guy like Dylan Holloway to play in the World Championships. I think it's in the best interest of Joel Hofer to play in the World Championships. I think it would be great for those guys. For Logan Mailloux to go play in the World Championships. And this guy finished the season -10, and I think he was a -23 at one point during the year. I mean, what we saw from him down the stretch is fantastic. And yeah, a lot of it probably has to do with him playing with Philip Broberg. And I don't know if Broberg will play in the World Championships. Who knows? Maybe he just wants to play. He had a fantastic season. But really happy that Logan Mailloux was able to finish the year the way that he did. Really impressive. And, his goal late in the third period yesterday in Utah, that should leave a lasting impression for a lot of people as you head into the offseason of who this guy is and what he's capable of being and how good he can be. And he's a good fit right now with Broberg. Whether or not they stick together and play together heading into next year remains to be seen. That was kind of an issue for Doug Armstrong, I think, coming into this year, because what works one year doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work the following year. You can't just run it back and keep everybody together. So it may not even be a guarantee that Holloway, Snuggerud, and Thomas stay together. By the way, if you think the Blues should boo Robert Thomas, I mean, you're crazy. Although I say that, there is one caveat. I don't know who they would be getting in return, so I guess you could convince me. In reality, I think that Robert Thomas situation comes down to, what does he want to do? Does he want out? Does he want to stay? What does he want to do? We got to get him on Hockey Sense too. I don't think he loved having his name thrown out there at the trade deadline. I think that did hurt him. I would imagine he's over it. You're a professional. You're in the NHL. Listen, rumors are rumors. They didn't go to him asking him for a trade. You got to get over that as a player. It happens to a lot of guys, and it won't be the last time that he hears his name in rumors before his career is all said and done. So I hope he's not um, allowing that to impact or affect his mindset of where he wants to play moving forward here in the NHL. I would hope Robert Thomas wants to stay and the team doesn't have any interest in moving him. He's their number one center. It's so hard to find these guys. He's young. He's in his prime. He's only going to get better. I've always said this about Thomas. There's no reason why he can't be a 90-point guy. And, you know, I look at him and I look at Holloway. I mean, these guys, they got to stay healthy. Holloway's got to stay healthy. I don't know what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. It's going to be more expensive than what it would have been if they would have agreed on an extension during the season, because he's playing like a superstar right now. He's literally driving that line. His work ethic, how hard he forechecks, how hard he works. And, you know, we all know that he can score goals. And, you know, we saw a great pass from him on Thomas's first goal in Utah. Like, this guy's got great playmaking skills. You know, he's focused. You know, he's going to bring it every single day in practice. He is a hockey rat, a rink rat. This guy wants to be great, and he's got to stay healthy. The injury he had this year, I mean, I don't know. That's a fluke injury to me. Whenever it happens in practice, it's a fluke injury. It wasn't like a hamstring or a groin. Pavel Buchnevich literally fell on his ankle, and he suffered a high ankle sprain. And those are difficult to come back from. He tried to come back, we all know, earlier in the year, and just wasn't the same guy. So I'd like to see Holloway play in the World Championships. I'd love to see a guy like Snuggerud play in the World Championships. Just continue to play. It's got to be a great experience. All those guys who I mentioned, Hofer, Holloway, maybe to a lesser extent Mayu, but I think Hofer and Holloway have a good chance of I mean, they are on the radar for Hockey Canada. Who knows what that roster is going to look like in the World Championships, or the World Cup, I should say, 2 years from now, the Olympics 4 years from now. I've said several times that Joel Hofer could very well likely be your starting goaltender for Team Canada. Actually said that to Jordan Binnington the other day. Totally agree with me. Binnington's another one. I don't know what's going to happen there, you know, what the organization's thinking. Do they go back to Colton Parayko? I mean, there's so many things on the air. That's what I mean. Fascinating, just fascinating offseason. And I'm looking forward to it. But Robert Thomas finishes the season with 64 points in 64 games. He came all the way back and ended up being a point-per-game guy this year with 3 points, scoring another hat trick against the Mammoth. Phenomenal finish to the season. But again, this guy has shown over and over, there's no reason. Honestly, there's no reason for this guy to finish the season with less than 90, 95 points. As long as he stays healthy. He wasn't healthy. I've learned more about the surgery that he needed, man. I think he was scared to have it a few years back. It was a scary surgery to have on his leg, just in terms of what the actual procedure entailed. He ended up having the surgery and had it fixed during the break, and he's come back. I mean, he just looks like a completely different player. If you don't want to buy that he was hurt in the first half of the season, it happened in the second game of the year, then I don't know what to tell you. All you have to do is watch the games. You see how different he looked down the stretch versus how he played prior to having the procedure. So a big shout out to Robert Thomas for finishing the year strong, man. I love seeing it. I love seeing it from Mayu. You know, Cam Fowler didn't have a good season, but, you know, his pass to Thomas on that deflection in front was high end. And, you know, Fowler played his best hockey of the season down the stretch too. That's just what these guys do, man. I don't know. That's the big challenge. And I know Jim Montgomery has talked about it. Doug Armstrong talked about it here on Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community a few weeks back. They have got to find a way to start the season on time and be ready. And training camp, you're going to see a much different training camp, even though I think it's a shorter training camp now next year with the 2 additional games now on the schedule. You're going to have fewer preseason games. I just think the emphasis of the focus in training camp is going to be way different than what we saw this year. It has to be. But I'm curious to see what Alexander Steen does. Everyone wants to see what draft picks the Blues have. And now you got Detroit's pick as well. That was a hell of a trade, man, to get a first-round pick for Justin Falk. Have it be unprotected. And I like Falk, but, I like Theo Lindstein, too. Gave him an opportunity to play, and more importantly, gave an opportunity to Logan Mailloux just to take on additional ice time, take on a bigger role, and he thrived in it. He still has a long way to go, but he's so young. So I think people have come around very quickly on that trade. Remember the first 4 or 5 days of the season, everyone was like, "What are they doing?" Zachary Bolduc was scoring goals in Montreal, and I think most people who truly have the ability to evaluate that trade will break it down favorably for the St. Louis Blues. But, Jake Neighbors is a guy that I think you should count on to be a guy who can score 25 goals. I know we focus a lot about his character and leadership capabilities and all that. To me, Robert Thomas is your captain. I don't think it's necessary to throw that pressure right now on the shoulders of Jake Neighbors. He didn't have a great finish to the season. The offense wasn't there. Just let him play. He's just got to play. I think Thomas, listen, he's your best player. Put the C. If you want to put a C on anybody, put it on him. That's what I would do. That's my opinion. I would give it to Robert Thomas. I love Jake, and Jake is a natural-born leader. But put the A on him. Put the A on him and let him evolve as an NHL player and as a leader and eventually become the captain of the St. Louis Blues. I just think next year it's just a little too early for that to happen. And assuming that Thomas would accept it, give it to him. That's just the way I look at it. We got a lot to talk about with Oscar Sundqvist. We'll see what his future entails. I know he wants to play. He's hoping he can stay here in St. Louis. He's told me that several times throughout the year. But we'll talk about the team. He didn't play every game down the stretch. I think he's okay with his role at this stage of his career. He's only 32 years old. He just turned 32. This guy has it's not like he's gonna, he's not 38. I think what you saw from Sundqvist this year is kind of what you can expect to see from him next year. And I don't think he wants to go play anywhere else. So we'll talk to him about that on the other side when we talk to Oscar Sundqvist. Jamal Mayers also joining us. We'll hear from Jamal next, and then Oscar Sundqvist on the other side. So Jammer next, then Oscar Sundqvist. And I hope you enjoyed this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. First Community, baby. Vacation club account. How about that? Summer's officially right around the corner. That means family vacations for a lot of you out there, but of course, you got to pay for it. Everything's expensive right now, man. It's so crazy how gas is so expensive. No reason to stay home. But if you want to play now and pay later, you can look into a vacation loan at First Community. A vacation loan. I love that. Or consider the First Community Visa with a rate of 7.9%. No annual fee. By the way, the average credit card is over 20%, just so you know. So be careful using your credit card. But if you're really thinking ahead, open up a First Community Vacation Club account now, and this time next year, you'll have saved up for your vacation. It's a smart way to go. Learn more at firstcommunity.com. Lordo's Diamonds, lordosdiamonds.com. Of course, Bluto Roofing, David Novak, 314-920-5713. If you suffered any damage from the recent storms or you need a new roof, call them today, get that free estimate. Let them come out and take care of you. David Novak, 314-920-5713. St. Louis Lawn Equipment, stlouisequipment.com. They've got everything that you're looking for in terms of lawnmowers, all types of machines that you're looking for, pre-owned machines. They've got 4 locations. The Afton Lawn Equipment Store, also known as the Arco Lawn Equipment Store, located at 9875 Gravois Road. Full-service dealer with brands like Toro, Steel, Red Max. They offer sales, parts and repairs for both residential and commercial customers. A history of going all the way back to 1953, if you can believe that. And they're also cutting my lawn right now, too. My lawn has never looked nicer. They are unbelievable. But stlouisequipment.com, that is the website. St. Louis Equipment, the best lawn mowing equipment you're going to find anywhere. Welcome aboard to Hockey Sense, St. Louis Equipment. Great to have them on board with us. All right, let's step aside. Jamal Mayers will join us next, and then we'll hear from Oscar Sundquist. Sonny, it's a sunny day on this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Thanks for hanging out. As always, our Friday tradition continues here at Half Coast Studios, although we're in Nashville today. We're on the road. You never know where you're going to find us. Stick around. All right, Jamal Mayers with us, as always, here on Hockey Sense. Let's get right to it.
Hey, listen, aren't you going to comment about why I've got a toque on?
Well, you're in Winnipeg? Is that why?
Yeah, I'm in Winterpeg, and I woke up and there's snow on the ground, but I'm not outside, but I just want to let you know.
But it's a great place to live. It is.
Very nice people.
They re-signed their players. Their players stay there. The owners, listen, apparently they treat the players well.
Yes.
Where were you last night? So San Jose, Winnipeg. San Jose won that game. What was the final score in that game? 6-1?
6-1, and Macklin Celebrini passed Joe Thornton for most points ever as a San Jose Shark with 115 points, 45 goals and 70 assists, 19 years old.
Yeah, in his second year in the league. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Super likable. How much money would you give Connor Bedard? Like, his contract is up.
Yes.
Celebrini, I would imagine, is anxiously awaiting to see what he gets. Bedard, that is, and he's going to come in higher than Bedard, as he should. What do you give him, Bedard, and then what are you thinking for Celebrini? How's this going to play out from a contract standpoint?
Well, if I'm the agents for both those kids, I'm using the projected number, not what the cap is this year or next year. I'm using the number that the league itself has been using, which I believe is 106. Maybe going to 124.
Yeah, 123, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, some really, really crazy number. I'm using that number when I say my client, then we won't use McDavid because he took considerably less than he should have.
But you can't either. I mean, listen, I know, I guess you could throw in McDavid, but different situations in terms of age and experience and where they're at, and this is their first. They're coming out of entry level. I think you have to look at them as superstar players. In the case of Celebrini, for sure, he's probably going to be a Hart finalist.
Yeah, I think the number is probably, to me, it's 14. I think that you got Kaprizov at 17. How is it not 14 or 15?
How is it not 17 if Kaprizov says 17?
Well, the problem is they'll use the argument of McDavid and now draw it down, but let me tell you this, it's not 10 and it's not 11 and it's not 12.
Yeah, I think, people would agree with that. I think the McDavid contract extension, you throw that out the window. That was a unique circumstance. He obviously gave the team a team-friendly deal hoping that they were going to build around him, be able to add some pieces. He took less than market value. And it was a 2-year deal. This wasn't a 7-year deal, which is what I would imagine a guy like Celebrini is going to sign. Bedard, maybe he signs a 4-year deal. Who knows what he ends up signing? I mean, he got hurt this year. I think if you look at his numbers, it's still pretty impressive. Like, he was probably on a 90-point pace, if not north of 90 points. When you look at the games that he missed and his numbers prior to the injury, then maybe it fell off a little bit after the injury. But with that team to be able to put up 70-plus points, more than a point per game and all of that, it's still really impressive. I just think for Celebrini, I mean, he's got to be up there where all these guys. I mean, if you're going to sign this guy for 7 years and you're going to get 7 years out of him, man, I mean, he's got to be north of 14, in my opinion, Jammer.
Yeah, you know what? He is. Yeah, I think you're right. I think 15 has a nice ring to it. I think
so does 17.
What would be interesting is I think he's named captain at the same time he signs this extension.
Yeah.
I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think it really, listen, it really excited the Bay Area, and the Sharks fans came back. It was unbelievable down the stretch from December on, sold out every single night to watch this kid. And I think they're smart enough to realize that there's something special there. It certainly helps that his dad works for the Warriors, and the connection there is real. And having Steph Curry talk about him, having other sports people around talk about him has really helped. And it's gotten the non-traditional hockey person in California to take notice and buy jerseys. And when we travel, it's becoming, you
Yeah.
know, it's unbelievable with the
It's a
Matt Grant
thing.
and the Smith jerseys are out there. It's a thing.
Yeah. I had our social media guy for the Blues do a little research for me just in terms of the engagement increase on social media for San Jose. I mean, it's night and day. I mean, I had to look up the numbers he gave me. It's crazy in terms of um how significant it's a more significant increase in social media followers on TikTok and Instagram than any other team in the league. And blows everyone away. Their television ratings are obviously higher, not just because you're on there, Jamal. You may think it's because of that, but it's because of Celebrini.
It doesn't hurt, buddy. Doesn't hurt.
So, he can name his number. I think for Bedard, I look at it a little bit differently because Chicago's been part of into this rebuild now for a handful of years, and I know everyone's excited about some of these young players they have, and they're loaded on the back end. They've got a number of young defensemen, but if I'm him, this is me, and I'm curious if you agree. I'm looking more for a shorter term deal, not a 2 or a 3-year deal, but a 4-year deal. Where are we going to be, Chicago? Where are we at 4 years from now? I don't know if I'm going to give you 7 years.
I 100% agree, and I think you're not usually this accurate, but you are bang on in my opinion. The reality is he's got to be thinking the same things you're saying. Like, I get it. We're in a rebuild, but where's the support? Like, they have to take the next step. I'm not even sure the next step for them is making the playoffs. I think the next step is what San Jose did this year, where they just miss. And there's a lot of lessons to learn to go from where they are to making the playoffs. And they have like 2 more steps to get to there. It's going to take them 2 or 3 more years to make the playoffs. Right. And so if I'm him, I agree. I'm giving them 3 or 4 years max. It's still life-changing money, anything north of 12. You're still
Yeah.
taking care of generations of your family at 12 times 4. Right. And so that part gets taken care of. He can relax in that respect. But in regard to his career, it's not enough saying we have a cupboard full of prospects. They got to take the next step. And if I'm him, that's what I would do.
Yeah, Kyle Davidson signs a contract extension. What's your read on him?
He's a nice guy. I think that, he has a plan. He's very firm in what he wants to do. I'm watching a keen eye. Can he take the team to the next step? Right? That next step. He's got to start bringing in some guys and making some hockey trades and trading some of those prospects into players. Now, so apparently he gets a pass on their 2nd overall pick, right?
Basунov?
You like that pick?
I'm not I think that story's yet to be written, right?
Well,
They got a bunch of defensemen, but I saw him play in the NCAA tournament the year before, and I didn't leave the rink that night being like, this is a must-have at number 2.
100%. I was there, the same thing, and I said, this guy's going to be a serviceable, good defenseman. He reminds me of who's the tough kid who's in Boston now, bigger defenseman, happens to be Russian as well.
Oh, Zadorov?
Yeah, it reminds me of that. Like, he has that much offense. It's like, if you're picking 2, he needs to be special.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to be You have to be like, I'm talking, be able to do both, like Norris Trophy candidate in 5 or 6 years type of player. And he's not that.
Mm. Yeah, that'll be interesting, man. Who's your Hart Trophy winner? McDavid had 4 more assists last night. He wins another Art Ross. He finishes with 138 points. Kucherov, number 2 at 130. This is where everyone kind of names their winner, you know, a month before the season ends, 2 months before the season ends, 3 weeks before the season ends. Draisaitl goes down,
Yeah.
and McDavid is just lights out. Would you give it to him? I think I've changed my mind, and I would, Jamal.
Yeah, I'm in this. Okay, so this is what happened for me. If you asked me a month ago, it was Macklin if they went make the playoffs. I think Macklin still deserves to be a finalist. I think he's third. I think you got to bump one of those guys out for Macklin. I still believe that. And that's because this team would be dead to rights. This team would not even be close to the playoffs. They were into it. They were in it until game 80. And that's for one reason. Macklin Celebrini. Okay. That's the truth. So if you let's erase the fact of how we evaluate this trophy. It's not the best player. This is why I give it to McDavid. McDavid had his running mate. If Draisaitl had remained healthy, McDavid does not win this trophy. Draisaitl goes down, McDavid goes on an absolute tear. Have you seen who his wingers are? No offense. He is the most valuable player this season based on the criteria laid forward, and because he was literally doing it by himself on a nightly basis. And it was impressive to see him do that down the stretch. And to me, he wins both. He wins the player voting award, and he wins and he wins this one. I think he deserves it. I don't think we should use it against him. And we always try to find ways, it seems, not to give it to him. I think he is the MVP.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Kucherov. I thought maybe this is the year that he gets it. But again, I think we're going to look back at Kucherov, his career, and be like, this guy was incredible. He just happened to play in the same era where he was going head-to-head and toe-to-toe with Connor McDavid, one of the best players to ever play the game. And Kucherov belongs in that category, too. He is special. What about the Norris Trophy? I know Franz and BX had a, you know, when Franz, he took a break from doing interviews promoting the book, Jamal, and he was on Hockey Night in Canada. He picked Rasmus Dahlin. I thought it was an interesting pick. Connor, you know, you look at what's his name, Cale Makar in Colorado. I mean, to me, he's almost in the same category, or he is in the same category as Connor McDavid. As long as he's playing in the game, someone's got to have a really, really special season and a real significant reason to knock him off. I don't know how he doesn't win, but who would you give it to this year?
Yeah, for me, it's not Bouchard. I think it would have been Zach Growinski for me if Columbus had gotten in. He had a tremendous season. I like Makar for this award. I know he's hurt and he just came back. I think he came back the last game of the year. But the impact that he has in the game, he defends as well. He doesn't just do offense. And I think he was the best overall defenseman. Yeah, I think Dahlin and Werenski are right there. I think we should have 2 awards, quite honestly, an offensive defenseman award and an overall defenseman award. I think Carlson got it because he was an outlier and up to 100 points, which was an insane season he had. I don't think Bouchard is in that category, even offensively. I think it's a shame. The problem is, no disrespect to the people who vote for this award, it always worries me that they'll get it wrong, and they'll just give it to Bouchard. So it'll be interesting to see how they vote, because they're just, no offense, but it's the media voting on it. But like, it's not that, maybe that's the issues. Like, I don't know if that award, having the media vote on it, is the right approach. Like, maybe it is a collection of general managers and coaches that vote on that, because wouldn't they know best, right? So that would be the one caveat that I would give is, I think if Bouchard wins, then maybe we need to really think about how we vote on this.
And I do think his perception hurts him and works against Bouchard. He's had an unbelievable season, Jamal. I mean, he's he's convinced me. Like I had an opinion of him that has changed. Uh,
Sure.
he kills penalties too, so he should be a finalist in my opinion. But I'm not so sure I would give him the award. What were your thoughts on Rick Bonus's comments after the season with Winnipeg or with Columbus? If you're a player on the Blue Jackets, you're in that dressing room. What's your reaction to it?
You know what? I liked it. As a player, I would have hated it. I saw Jeff O'Neill's remarks. He thought it was a betrayal of taking things outside the room. I think he's right, but what I think, in hindsight, thinking about it more, what I've come to the conclusion of is he has had that conversation with them. He is at the end point of his tolerance for it, and this is the last straw to get their attention. And sometimes you have to embarrass a teammate. Coaches have to embarrass players into doing the right thing. And that's the reality. The game hasn't changed that much in the last 30 years that I've been around it. And the way that you do it has changed. I'm sure Bones has done a tremendous job of making sure those players know that he cares about them individually and how he can help them in their individual careers, because that is important today. Yeah, not so much when I play, right? But that is important. And so I think he has the room's attention and the grace, having been through as much as he's been through, to be honest with them. And it's sometimes that honesty is the way that they're gonna get move forward. That friction is important to them, to having that growth. So it's really unfortunate that it came to that, but I don't mind what he said. I think that it was needed. It's probably really tough to hear for the players, but he got another year, so he's gonna be able to change that culture. And I think that there's probably 6 guys in that room who go, "Thank God, thank you, thank you," right? And those are the guys you want on your side anyway.
And I know Don Waddell's only been there for a couple of years, but I mean that franchise is just uh, is it the worst organization in professional sports, Jamal? I mean, honestly, you could put Buffalo in that category, but at least they've had successful years before. Now they were able to turn it around this year. Hopefully that this isn't just a 1 year thing for Buffalo and they can sustain it.
Yeah,
Columbus, man. I don't know what Columbus is.
it's really disappointing because you know what? From all people that have lived there and stayed there and love it there,
Yeah.
like it's people talk about it like they talk about St. Louis, if I'm being
Mm.
honest.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, great place to live, easy to get around, cost of living is good, great schools,
Great
uh,
golf.
great golf. Like think about it, that's all the things you hear about St. Louis. And so I feel like they could turn it around, but they haven't to this point. So um, it'll be interesting because you know what? I think that that is a great place to play and a great place to live, and
Yeah.
hopefully they figure it out.
Two more things for I'm going to let you go. Number one, St. Louis. What would you do with St. Louis, Jamal?
Well,
Who's leaving? Who's staying? Who's going?
yeah, I hope that what I do hope is this. I hope that Alex Teen is given the autonomy to make the decisions that he wants to make. Full autonomy. That's the most important thing. I trust Alex Steen implicitly in his approach, his methodical understanding of the game, how it's played, where it's going, the personalities within the room, what he wants and how he wants to build it.
Hmm.
And with that, I think that he needs the autonomy to make tough decisions, hard decisions, rip band-aids off, part ways with certain players that change the complexion and the trajectory of this group. So it might mean it's step backwards, 2 steps backwards to go forwards. Um, Injection of youth, of speed, of things that have been lacking. Um, Reforming, and changing the core of the defense is probably, we've been talking about that for 2 years. Has to happen. So it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. I just hope he has the reins to do what he wants.
Robert Thomas. I mean, the way
Yeah,
he finished the season, like,
well, I've always said this, and I haven't wavered. Is you stay, he doesn't go anywhere. You get rid of Robert Thomas. You're trying to find a Robert Thomas.
yeah.
Let's make no mistake. He is the number one center. For how long, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like he, we'll see where that goes, but he is the number one center. And but a lot of other pieces that have been there for a bit. Um, Sometimes it's healthy. Sometimes
Mhm.
they're ready for a change.
And I think the players who I think you're probably referring to, I think they've gotten to a point where maybe a change of scenery, in their opinion, might be the best fit for them as well. So we'll see how that plays out. Bennington, would you keep him if he wants to stay? I think he does.
Um, if you think that Hofer is the number one guy, I think you strike while the stock is high, and I think you move on. That's tough to hear. He won a Stanley Cup, the winningest, arguably should have and will have a statue outside uh, Enterprise.
Mhm.
But sometimes you have to make tough decisions a year or two before you'd really like to make those decisions to help make your team better.
Yeah.
So,
It'll be an interesting call, Jamal, just because I mean you, you go out and try to find a backup for $1.5 million, $1 million, $2 million. I mean, those are still important points that they're going to have to play. They tried that a few years back with Thomas Grice. It didn't work. I just, if Bennington is willing to accept whatever role that they define for him, and he doesn't want to go anywhere else. I mean, you know, it wouldn't. He's not a distraction, right? He's not a problem for Joel
never
Hofer.
said that.
No, I know
Never
you
said
didn't.
that.
Yeah.
Now, what I am saying to you is this: like you know him well enough. He's a competitive guy. He's a Stanley Cup champion. He might even say, "I want to stay. I'm going to accept the role." I don't. That's not in his DNA.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes as a manager and as a management team, you have to know that about the player that he's saying all the right things, but I know him as a competitor. That's not going to work. If he doesn't play for 10 games because Hofer goes on a run, that's not going to be a happy guy to be around, to
Yeah.
stick around and stay and take shots because they have to take shots as the
Ooh,
backup. Like that's not going to work. And if
I
he still
gotcha.
feels he could be a number one, he's going to sit there and he's going to rot. He's going to be pissed. It doesn't matter how good of a guy you are. Like
Uh,
it's just human nature. You're going to be like, I can still play.
yeah.
I need
No,
to get out of here.
I
And it's
gotcha.
and then he doesn't, it's not like he means to be a distraction. Then I said, and I'm thinking like, then it does become a distraction and not by his fault. It's because
Mhm.
he's a competitor and it's who he is as a person. That's great. That's why he's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. So with you. I'm with you. That makes sense. Well said on your part. We'll see how that plays out. I just think in terms of where he wants to go, it's a limited number of very very small number, smaller than probably people would think and realize. Um, Two-part question: what playoff series are you most looking forward to? Who's your Stanley Cup winner when it's all said and done?
Well, most looking forward to can I say two series?
Yeah, of course.
Montreal and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
That's really intriguing to me. I think people are going to be surprised that it's going to be. I'm going to assume that Tampa's going to win, but that is not going to be easy.
Hmm.
And Marty's going to have that group ready to go. That's going to be interesting, and that's going to be a fun series to watch. On the other side, how can you not say the Minnesota Wild and Dallas
Dallas.
Stars?
Yeah.
That you know what? This is what I will say. All the people that are mad at Gary about the setup, okay? Our game shows itself the best in the first round. The calendar aligns itself poorly as our playoffs go on because other sports start to take the headlines of importance. Everybody is watching hockey in the first round. That's why it is the way set up the way it is, because Gary understands in the big picture, it is way better to have a team that had 110 points get knocked out because the hockey's so fantastic and unbelievable versus having what you believe is the right teams advance and move on.
Hmm.
So the right eyeballs are going to be watching. The first round is always my favorite, first round in the final, because I'll tell you what other teams you got to watch out for is Utah.
Utah and Vegas I can't wait for that series, Jamal.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's why I love the first round. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Hockey every night, just watching.
Yeah. Is it too easy to say Colorado is going to win it? I mean, who do
Well,
you have?
I got them. I also picked Carolina in the final.
Wow.
I think they
Okay.
figured it out. I think Vegas is going to be a tough out. Um, Torts has got them rolling. They haven't lost with him. So,
Wow.
well, if they have it, it was overtime or a shootout.
Yeah, I think he's 7-0-1 or 8-0-1, something like that.
Yeah. So it's, I do my homework. I'm prepared, buddy. I know the
Oh, you know. I love it. All right, who brought you to Hockey Says today, Jamal? I know you got to catch a flight.
Yes, sir. So listen, you talk about our friends at Dobbs, and what I love about them is the people. They're locally owned. They got over 40 locations around the St. Louis area, and they don't just do tires, right? They do, they're called Dobbs tires and autos. What people sometimes forget, they'll get your car in, out, and fixed the same day. It doesn't matter what you drive, a car, light truck, EV, hybrid, or whatever it is. They're honest. They'll diagnose it. They'll tell you, hey, here's the category of tires. How long are you going to keep it for? This is what you should do. This is going to help, all season. You don't need to change your tires. This is the one budget friendly for you. And they'll get you in the right tire. And that's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter. They're great people. They always have great deals. They'll take care of your car, they'll do oil changes, everything. And that's why I love them. So you go to Dobbs.com for more. They always have deals on anything.
All right, I love it. Where are you having dinner tonight? You're heading back to St. Louis. You still have time to eat tonight, Jamal.
Oh, I can't wait to get back to my regular routine of Bartolino's. They got 5 restaurants: Bartolino's South, Bartolino's Austria, Chris's Pancake and Dining. Chris is at the docket, and Bartolino's Twin Oaks forged many lasting relationships with their customers. Their family model: cook good food, serve plenty. 50 plus years in business, only 2 places to dine: at home or at one of Bartolino's family restaurants.
Ooh, and who puts the in spa?
Oh, buddy, I know you're gonna want to come over and check out the new digs. It's only about 20 minutes. Don't act like it's so far because we're moving to
you are moving. You're moving across town.
Exactly. It's 20 minutes from the old house. They're a local master spa dealer with 2 locations: Sunset Hills and Overland Park in Kansas City. Mike Clay, he's the owner's daughter, takes care of things down there. Angie Hess. Best thing they do is they deal with master spas, which is American made in Fort Wayne. They also got deals with Michael Phelps Chili Goat tubs. Can't wait to get mine. Spas and More offers high quality hot tubs, swim spas, cold tubs, infrared sauna for all of your health, wellness, and relaxation needs. Turn your backyard into an oasis of your dreams with a master spas from Spas and More, located at 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills, where we put the
in spa. All right, I love it, Jamal. Thanks a lot, man. And listen, one of these days we're going to be in the same studio at the same time. It's been a crazy run throughout the course of the season. Everything will calm down eventually, but we always find a way to make it work. And I know people love hearing from you, so thanks for making the effort as always, man.
I'm so excited about the playoffs. Can't wait to talk to you next week, and good luck to Ty.
We may have to do a live stream during one of these playoff games.
I like it.
We have to make it happen.
Okay. Set it up.
Sponsor. All right, then.
Sponsor. See you, buddy.
Talk to you soon. See you, buddy. All right, so that's Jamal Mayers. We're going to hear from Oscar Sundquist, too, before it's all said and done. Listen, are you in need? Because I know you are. You got to make sure your grass is looking good. You want to make sure your yard is looking good. You got the fresh mulch. All the bushes are trimmed. You better have the right equipment, I'll tell you that, with St. Louis Lawn Equipment. I mean, St. Louis Lawn Equipment has all the best products that you're looking for, all the best machines, all the best lawn mowers, everything you need to take care of what you have, your prized possession. When people come over to the house, you want to make sure that they walk away and they say, wow, this place is unbelievable. And I love it, man. They got so many brands there at St. Louis Lawn Equipment. Skag mowers, Gravely mowers, Steel equipment, Red Max equipment, all the accessories, all the tools for commercial landscapers. Listen, if you're a commercial landscaper, this is where you should be going. St. Louis Lawn Equipment, man. I love it. 4 locations around the area, too. So, listen, there's always something that's close for you to get to. StLouisEquipment.com. That's the website. commercial mowers, residential mowers, handheld equipment. So if you're looking for blowers and all that type of stuff, snow equipment. Oh, yeah. And during the winter months, you want to make sure you're taken care of. I love all this stuff. I love going to one of the stores and just hanging out and seeing all the different lawnmowers and all the different pieces of equipment that they have. They've got new inventory. They also have pre-owned stuff. So if you're looking not to spend a ton of money, maybe you want to get something that's been used before, you don't mind it, still in great condition. Everything's checked, make sure that it works properly, and obviously you're good to go. They've got pre-owned equipment for sale. They service equipment. So if you've got a lawnmower, handheld device, snowblower, whatever it is you're looking for, they'll service it for you. If you need a part, they've got parts. I mean, I love it. St. Louis Lawn Equipment, man. Check it out. stlouisequipment.com. That's the website. And tell them Andy Strickland sent you. Unbelievable. St. Louis Lawn Equipment. And stlouisequipment.com. That's the website. All right, this is Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. We'll take a break and come back and finish things up here on this edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Coming to you from Nashville this week. I'm Andy Strickland. Don't go anywhere. All right, so listen, you never know how things are going to go. We're going to have to reschedule Sonny. Just dealing with trying to get him on and all the logistics, technical issues that you just can't foresee. I am in Nashville, and I have to leave to go to my kids' game. So we'll effort making this happen. Obviously, things are challenging at times when it comes to the technology side of it. So I apologize to all our listeners. We'll get Sonny back on. But, we had a good conversation with Jamal. He had to travel. It's just one of those, I want to bring Hockey Sense to you today, obviously. And, but with the travel today, it's just a little bit crazy. But we had planned to have Oscar Sundquist on, but now he's unavailable, or at least he can't jump on for technical reasons. So anyway, that's where we're at. I apologize. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Hockey Sense. We'll get Sonny back on. The bottom line is Jamal was able to come on, and it's going to be an exciting next several weeks here for the St. Louis Blues. So, again, no Sonny. I thought we were going to have Sonny. Technical issues means no Sonny. So we'll have Sonny on again at another time on Hockey Sense. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy the playoffs. We'll have lots for you of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Next week's going to be interesting in terms of the timing of the show. I'm actually going to be in Toronto next weekend. So we've got lots more to come, though, of Hockey Sense. We go 12 months a year. You know that. Every single Friday. You know where to find us. Subscribe. Follow us. Leave a comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, who you want to see moved, what moves you'd like to see from the Blues this offseason. Send me a direct message, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. Reach out. I love the communication with the listeners. But it's going to be an amazing, amazing offseason. And obviously an incredible, next 2 months here with the Stanley Cup playoffs too. So I look forward to bringing you Hockey Sense each and every Friday here. Thanks to our friends with Half Coast Studios. So for Jamal Mayers, we'll get Oscar Sundquist on at a different time. I'm Andy Strickland, reminding you to keep your head up and your stick on the ice. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you next week for another edition of Hockey Sense, brought to you by First Community. Have a great weekend, everybody.